What's up, everybody? Jaxxsin here, and today I want to talk about a game that Battleborn is such a good game, and it's just been fucked into obscurity and mediocrity by the decisions of the publisher and the developer. Gearbox delivered an excellent game here. This is a PvP game, a PvE game that contains multiple layers of gameplay within the Helix tree, which is the way your character, every time you level up in game, you get to add one skill point to the Helix tree. There's two sides to this, and you can even unlock a third one for about 5 of them through leveling the character. So this adds like 100 different ways for your character to be played. You know what I mean? Obviously. Now that said, and then with that, you have a gearbox that are, items that you can activate and buy in game that add bonuses to your character. Some of them are legendary ones that you unlock through mastering the character, and those are character specific bonuses. Very cool. A lot of layers of gameplay in Battleborn. The story missions are basically defend point, escort this, defend point. They're not bad though, they're pretty basic objectives, but the enemies are fun to fight. It's, the characters are fun to play. There's a lot going on here. So why is it that I can sit there for upwards of 15-20 minutes sometimes just trying to find a match, in PvP? And why is it that every time I queue for story missions, advanced story missions, or even normal story missions, I can't find a 5-man party? It's usually me and one other person, maybe 2. 4 if I'm really lucky, but I haven't seen a full 5-man group since fucking 6 months ago when I first bought this and I was playing it with some friends, my brothers. So, why is it that no one's playing these? Well, in this video, I'm going to go over all the different reasons. I believe that, a lot of people put a lot of this on Overwatch releasing in the same quarter or the same window. Yeah, it's got a huge amount to do with it, but there's a lot of things and decisions that were made in the case of Battleborn that I believe truly affected it when people heard about it, and really did affect it. The way that they snuck in the microtransactions, it wasn't shipped with microtransactions. It wasn't until a few months after release that they started to fucking add these incredibly good looking, exclusive skins that are only available within, real game money. Or real life money, real game money. The lines of reality have begun to blur. It's so confusing. Anyway, real life money. And that's barred from the season pass owners anyway. You've got to buy those with in-game, in-game microtransactions with real-life cash. You can't earn that currency in the game anyway. They're not available in loot boxes like in the case of Overwatch. They're not available at all. Those skins you cannot buy unless you give them real-life money. And once again, it didn't ship with those. They snuck them in later. And that, to me, is just some sneaky shit. I'm sorry. There's a reason that they were snuck in later too, because they were already worried because of the Overwatch factor and things like that. But it's not only that, it goes into the grind of this game. Like I've done a video before called When Grinding Becomes Painful. Like, when is it too much grinding? At what point are we like gonna say, holy fuck, this is the same thing, I'm doing all the time and I'm not really getting rewarded, as often as I would be in other games. Like, Battleborn has a worse loot system than Diablo 3 did in its conception by a million miles. Destiny, well, fuck. I can't argue that Destiny, the early years were fucking, oh god, I can't even, that was some bad fucking grinding. But it's bad, okay? Battleborn gets to be to that point at some places. And these decisions that were made are obvious as shit. They're hunting the whales. That's, if you don't know this term, that's what they call these big, people that are the big spenders in the fucking, and it's also a term I'm pretty certain that has been used for casinos and things like that. But basically, you're a whale because you have a ton of cash. You're big, that's what we want to get down, you know what I mean? And with that, they even fucked that up. Like, there's so many decisions in Battleborn that take away from the core of, like, this amazing gameplay, these 30 characters, eventually 30 characters in the game, that are gonna, They're all different. They all play different. You know, you get a different experience each time you do these missions when you're playing with them. You know what I mean? And it's just these things took away from it, and it just butchered it and fucked it up. And today I just want to go over some of those things, and I'm going to start with the Overwatch factor. So there's several reasons why Overwatch outsold Battleborn and beat it into the dirt. For starters, Blizzard. Blizzard Entertainment is a fucking giant, alright? It's like Bethesda. When a Bethesda game comes out, you know it's going to do well, and it's going to do good business. It's going to make lots of money. It's going to be favored by the fans, favored by the majority of the critics. It's just going to do well. That's what Blizzard has going for them. So when they release a game, it's automatically coming out with a lot of love behind it and anticipation and hype for it. So you're already releasing yourself in a window of a game that's kind of sort of in the same. I mean, I'm sorry. Comparing Battleborn to Overwatch it just doesn't work. Okay, like it's a more appropriate comparison to compare Battleborn to Smite or Battleborn to League of Legends than it is to compare Battleborn to Overwatch. Another huge reason that Overwatch is way more successful is because it is so much more accessible by the casual gamer. There is a huge skill gap in Battleborn that is apparent from, you just come across players that they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to build that character. They don't know how to use their skills. They don't know what they're doing. And you can wreck them. You can shit all over them, okay? Because there's layers. There's the helix tree that changes the way your character plays in any given situation. So if they just fuck up and pick a bad one and doesn't suit their personal play style the way they want to play that character, and it's hard to learn all of that. It's hard to learn this skills tree. It's hard to stop and, oh man, now I have to level up and pick a skill mid-battle, I just want to play the game. And that's what Overwatch delivers on. Overwatch gives you a cookie cutter character that plays the same goddamn way every fucking time you play that fucking character. It's never going to be different. His skills are always going to do this. Their skills are always going to do that. That's just what they do. They're not going to level up. They're not going to get any more powerful than the other team. It's just going to be based on, the player's skill there. And even at that, it's, Call of Duty-ized in a way, so that it's very easy to just come across someone unaware and kill them very quickly. It's not so easy to do that in Battleborn because of the way the game modes are set up and things of that nature. And that's why it's a more fair comparison to compare Battleborn to a Smite, because it is, you've got the minion push in several instances. I mean, there is the capture mode, but even in that instance, it's long drawn out fights that a lot of push, a lot of draw back, a lot of, filling things out, seeing how it's going to play. And it's these subtle differences to the gameplay between Battleborn and Overwatch that really does show you two things. It shows you that Overwatch was geared with that in mind. You don't make a game that simple and, that just base unless you're trying to appeal to people who don't really have the same kind of skill as other people in this game. So that in Battleborn, if I'm playing a character I know and I'm playing a character I'm comfortable on and I've played many times, I can come up across people and just eat them for lunch. And that would they don't want that sort of thing to happen, because that player will then get shut down. Because not only am I going to kill him, probably my teammates are going to be killing him. And that he's going to not be getting XP, but he's going to keep thinking that, oh, this is like Call of Duty, right? Like I can just run out there and fight them, they don't understand experience. They don't understand the, getting the shards and building your gearbox out. They don't understand all the different intricacies to the helix tree, right? I'm sure some people bought this and didn't even know how to do that. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to talk shit on these people. I'm just explaining why Overwatch is a more successful game. It is more accessible and easier to play. I'm not trying to talk shit on it, say that it's not a great time, say that it's not a fun game. I'm just saying the skill gap in it is easier to get over than in a game like Battleborn, where there's, oh, you need to build buildables. You need to, you know, summon minions to help you. You need to do this. Plus, you need to have your shit together enough to figure out, okay, well, I need to pick this skill in the skill tree. I need to pick, you know, this helix here, that helix there. And this is the combination of my skills and my approach to pulling in a battle to, you know, reward me the best success of destroying the enemy team. It's not, you know, I'm not trying to talk shit on Overwatch. I'm just saying it's definitely for a more casual audience. And because, you know, a lot of people who play video games don't have a lot of time to play video games, don't have a lot of time to figure a game out. Sometimes they just want to throw a damn thing in and go shoot some shit. That's why Call of Duty is so successful. All right, Call of Duty is built to make, you know, the unskilled player feel just as skilled as the, you know, dominant player on the team, because he's able to randomly, through the way the zone spawns are and things of that nature, he's able to right away, you know, out of nowhere, oh, there's a kill, there's another kill. And so that weaker player still feels like he's getting, you know, he's doing well. Even if he ends up with a like 5 and 7, you know, that will probably make him feel really good about it. Okay? And that's why games like that are so successful. That's why Overwatch is so successful. Because you can just sit down, throw that shit on, play now. It throws you into a playlist. There's people playing all the time. You're not waiting on queues for fucking ever like you are in Battleborn. And it's just, it's accessible and easy. You don't have to learn anything other than this is what this character does. This is what its skills are. This is how it shoots. You know? Yeah, you got to learn the characters, but after that, it's kind of like there's not much more to learn than just the character's skills. You know what I mean? There's no other layer of gameplay like there is in the Battleborn, and coming up, or out now on the PC, Paladins. So, you know, that's the thing where, and I would say all these people saying Paladins is more like it's totally a rip off of Overwatch. I'd say it's closer rip off to Battleborn. And, you know, I could compare characters in Battleborn to characters in Overwatch, and I could compare characters in Overwatch to characters in League of Legends. All right? Because these games have been around for so long, they do so well, they're incredibly successful, and that is why Overwatch was immediately destined to beat the shit out of Battleborn. Because it was delivering an easily accessible experience, right? It was easier for everyone to step into, and everyone can compete. All right? Everyone feels like they can compete in that game, right? And it's a good game. It's a balanced game. It's, you know, and there's definitely still a skill gap there, and you can dominate people in Overwatch. And I'm not saying you can't be really good at Overwatch. I'm just saying there's levels that are gone. All right, now let's talk about the next big, huge problem with Battleborn. And that is the grind. So, if you haven't seen my video on the grind already, I've already covered how long it takes to just get character mastery with the fucking, just leveling up to level 15 takes way too long for a single character. I think it was about 16 to 18 hours. It was ridiculous. It was a ridiculous amount of time for one of 30 characters in the game. I've already went over the loot system, how grindy it is and hard it is to get loot. I'm going to touch on that again here in a minute because it is, you know, apparent as shit in this newest example. But there's new characters that are out now for free, right? They call them for free. You have to purchase them with in-game credits. Now, my numbers here might not be exactly 100% accurate. In fact, they're not. And the reason they're not is because many factors. I'm not able to get in a group with 5 people in an advanced mission. You know, I'm not able to get a proper, you know, number on how many credits you can actually earn, maximizing, you know, like having 5 people on hardcore mode with advanced difficulty. You know, there's many variables, but the highest amount of credits I've personally been able to earn through multiplayer, through all the story missions, has just been on advanced difficulty. Beating a story mission takes about 30 minutes. I was able to get almost 1,500 credits for doing it. Okay. Took about 30 minutes, 1,500 credits. These new characters cost 47,500 credits. So in order to get enough credits to unlock one of these new characters, you would have to run 31 matches at 30 minutes apiece, would equal 15 and a half hours. All right, 15 and a half hours. And by doing this, you're not able to buy any loot boxes, which is pretty much your only prayer for getting loot. And you get those so sparse throughout the story mission, throughout the rewards. Like, the only time you guaranteed get one is when you level up a character. That is it. All right. And usually that's just the loot box for that faction, and you get dumb skins and emotes in it that are recolors. Not the cool skins. Remember, not the cool skins. You can't get those unless you give them real life cash. Right? So these free characters, they say this is free content for everyone. All right? Are going to end up, you're going to have to play Battleborn like it's a full-time job. I haven't been able to unlock one of these characters by doing that. I was given 2 keys for free for having participated in the technical test in the beta. So I was able to unlock Alani, and I unlocked Pendles. So I've been able to play those 2 characters, but Kid Ultra and Ernest, the bird peacekeeper guy who looks funny as hell and fun to play, I'm not going to see them. Because I'm not giving them money for the season pass. And this is why. Because this is a fucking... Okay, listen to me. 15 and a half hours to unlock a new character. Like, are you fucking serious? I've played Smite and so many other games where you literally have to unlock these characters through, in-game time. No way did it take me that long to unlock a single character in those games. Killstrain, you could unlock a character in a night. 4 or 5 hours tops, man, and you'd have a character. Less than that, probably. But and that's a free-to-play game, right? It doesn't have the production value of a Battleborn, doesn't have anything like that, but it has a more rewarding grind to it. So, at what point did this game just get so incredibly fucked over? I think it was, they were expecting it to do better. And if it had done better, I truly believe these credits, because I was saying this from the beta, these credits, you're not getting them even ever good enough to ever purchase anything. It's taking you forever to get these. And I remember saying, I have a feeling they're going to be selling this in-game currency so that you can buy loot boxes, so you can buy, other things. I just have a feeling that that's what they're doing. And I expected them to have premium skins. I just expected their premium skins to be available through the purchase of credits, and that anyone could unlock them. It would just, because fuck! What a blindside that was. As someone who had been looking forward to this game, someone who had been playing it through the technical test, the beta, loved everything about it, just saw this whole beautiful game that could be so much fun, to sit down after purchasing this game for $60, to sit down and within 3 days, just be like, are you serious? I'm gonna have to play this game for the next fucking year straight like it's my day job in order to unlock all these things and get all these things that I want. And then, on top of that, you give us these just missions that, are the best way to earn credits based on my personal experience lately. And, when I actually started to pay attention to how many credits I needed in order to unlock this guy, started to do the math on how many matches I was gonna have to play and shit. But all of that, dude, like, I couldn't believe it. How grindy it was. How long it took you to get anything. How long it took you to get, and bear in mind, you can also resell your old loot that you don't want to get some credits. But man, like, I think the top one, the legendary, only goes for 175 credits is all you'll get for selling it. And that's not worth it because those things never drop. All right? Those things never fucking drop. So, you're just in this... The grind in this game is the worst example of a free-to-play game in a $60 AAA title. Alright? And that's why they snuck in the skins. They had no microtransactions day one. I had a commenter who said it wasn't DLC or microtransactions that killed it. It was the update. And he said, he went on a tirade about, just kind of venting on how the second developers were able to get away with these updates post-launch, and it, being forgivable in the eyes of the community, where there's people who defend it. There's people on my No Man's Sky videos who fucking sit there and like curse me down and say I'm stupid as fuck because goddamn, you know, like all these other games have problems on release. You know, oh, well, they fucking Halo 5 Guardians has been updated, blah, 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 blah. What's wrong with that? Blah, blah, blah. And it's so true. It's so true because, you know, and Halo 5's Guardians is a good example of being updated and adding free content and, you know, growing the game for the community. The thing about that is on the flip side of that coin, you have Halo, the Master Chief Collection, that's just no one gives a fuck about anymore, right? They don't finish the updates for that because that's not their moneymaker, all right? And so that's where we get into this thing where when we're allowing these publishers and developers to do these updates, you know, months after, forgive them all the problems, we're opening ourselves up for fucking microtransactions sneaking in, all, you know, like just all sorts of greasy shit fucking coming into this industry. All right? And you know what makes me mad is this free content I never get to play. I mean, yeah, I'm going to cut this here. I'm going to get back to you here in a second. I'm going to be talking about the free content for people who own the season pass and people like me who don't own the season pass, the things we all got. And I'm going to just explain to you, this is like the stupidest fucking thing. This is like a $30 purchase in any free-to-play game. You would pay $30 to get what you got for your $60 purchase in fucking Battleborn. Alright, so far they've released a new map for all the existing game modes: Incursion, Meltdown, and Capture. I've only been able to play the new Meltdown map, and I've only been able to play the new Capture map. I've not been able to see the new Incursion map. It's been, you know, I vote for it, and it takes so long to get in a group anyway. If you're doing specific, just looking for Incursion, it takes a long time. They have added 2 new game modes. One is kind of like, I'd say it's an Overwatch mix-up, where it's called Chaos Rumble, and they took out the, you know, requirement that you couldn't have double characters on the team, right? So you could have a full team of like Oscar Mikes or anything, and it gets stupid. And so that one, because the character, it's not like Overwatch where it's, I mean, in Overwatch, yes, there's imbalance, and you could definitely work out some cheap combos, but in Battleborn, it's a little different because there are the leveling up and things like that, and the different ways to play the characters. It gets very fucking hectic very fucking fast. So I don't really care for that one. The other one puts an emphasis on Capture and Meltdown. So that's why I've seen the new Capture and the new Meltdown map, but not the Incursion map. Every time I get the Incursion and I'm able to vote on it, I vote on it, and no one else votes on it. Maybe I get like 2 or 3 other people that vote on it, but I never get to play that map. Ever. So, and they've released the latest one, the biggest one. Oh, and also the 4 new characters. And there's supposed to be 2 more, 1 more, I don't know. There's going to be a total of 30 characters, is from what I understand. I've only been able to play 2 of the new characters. I haven't been able to play Kid Ultra or Ernest. So I don't know anything about those 2 characters other than that Kid Ultra is very OP. He does like attacking and healing, and Ernest seems to do a lot of damage with his gun, and he's got like mines he can throw on the ground and stuff. So right there's free content, but I never get to play it. I never get to see it, you know, whatever. It's gonna take me, you know, 15 and a half hours to unlock these new characters, so you know what I mean. And I'm already, when I'm trying to get these new maps in these modes, I'm already fucking angry about the experience. So I'm already not having a good time because I never get to see this map, and it's just kind of nagging in my head and bothering me. It bothers me that all these people are voting for Overgrowth, which is the first map I ever played of Battleborn. Yeah, so that just sucks. So then I'm like, okay, well, they added these new story ops, right? They added a new story ops with Atticus, one of my favorite characters in the game, who also just got a nerf, by the way. His ultimate no longer knocks people in the air when it's fully charged, which is ridiculously stupid. Instead, it just slows them. It makes his character almost next to fucking worthless in PvP. I mean, PvE. But, so, because it used to, you know, you could control a whole wave. Just knock them in the air and deal damage the whole time. It doesn't do that now. Now it just slows them. They just get on you and eat your face, and your ultimate is fucked. So I decided to run this new story up. I'm like, this will be cool, you know. Sorry about the tangent about his ultimate being nerfed. It really pissed me off. There's a lot of fucking characters in Battleborn I could think that could use a nerf, and Atticus isn't one of them, but whatever. He's one of the harder characters to play, in my opinion. Very hard start. You can get shut down very easy on him. It's very team dependent, depending on your team, whether or not, you know, you can even do the mission or whatever. So I went and I did this new story op. I didn't even save it. It was boring, like, and I was only able to run it by myself because no one's queuing for it. And I've tried queuing for it a few more times, despite how boring and just it was. The noir fucking, like, it fell off point. I didn't feel the noir. Like, it had like some weird, like, shady detective thing going on. Like, they wanted Atticus to be Valentine all of a sudden. It didn't work out. It fell short. It felt pushed. It felt forced. It was dumb. The whole time I'm looking at the map and I'm thinking, you know what? This map looks a lot like the first fucking map in the game I ever played, you know, when it released. Why wasn't this just in the game on release? And that makes me start to think about the other characters that have been released and how balanced they are when they come into it. And you're just like, okay, you know, this is... I've done so many videos on this about Battleborn and the dangers of this, that the free content and updates are bad things. I never said it as well as that commenter did, and that commenter kind of put it in a light for me that I hadn't seen before, and I was like, he's right. You know what I mean? Like, why in the world is it a good thing for them to say, we're gonna give you free content? You know, and that was a big thing with Battleborn. I remember them saying that several times, like, you're going to get free content in Battleborn, we're going to do free updates, things like that, kind of like No Man's Sky. But what's the point of that when the game you buy on day one just feels broken? And, you know, the Battleborn on day one was very broken. A lot of these story missions were bugged the fuck out, dude. Enemies would just stand there and look at you and just let you kill them. Bosses would just stand there and look at you and let you kill them. Sometimes, like in the case of Galt, his gun would just stop doing damage to the AI. Like, you'd be shooting everything coming at you and nothing would happen. They would be taking no damage and they just swarm you and kill you. You know what I mean? It's just that sometimes it was like, here's a wave of enemies and there's one red dot on the mini-map. You don't know where that fucking enemy is. You're combing the map, looking all over the place. There's no enemy there. And you just end up having to sit there for about 5 minutes. Just like, what the fuck's going on? You know what I mean? And that, I would have rather had a functioning product, and I think a lot of people would have. And I think your game would have done a lot better, Gearbox. Alright? And I think it would still be doing better if you were doing substantive updates for free. Cool things for free. But you're not giving any of us a reason to tell our friends to buy this game. You're not giving anyone in this game a reason to keep playing it, except for the hardest of core dudes who love this game to a point I can't even comprehend. Because I love this game, but I can't deal with the fucking grind. I can't deal with the way that it feels like a free-to-play title that I bought. You know what I mean? It's essentially, we funded this game. It's early access. We were just in its early access and we paid a fucking AAA price for it. You know what I mean? This is stuff in other games that, you know, and yeah, you can make the argument there's more content here, you know, there's more ground, it looks better and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? If the experience boils down to the same grindy, you know, like repetitive missions that are the same goddamn setup every time, nothing ever changes, I don't care. It's gonna take me longer to unlock a character in your game through organic in-game gameplay than it does fucking any free-to-play game. I don't care about the production value, man. I don't. Don't treat us like idiots. And I think this is something they did that they fucked up, and it's, you know, it's a big problem with Battleborn. It's a big reason why Overwatch kicked its ass. It's a big reason why it's probably going to be forced to go free to play. And that's just simply because they just, it's inconceivable to me who looked at these decisions and said, this is all a good idea. All right. So now that I've done, I've told you how much I love this game. I just wanted to go through all of the things that fucking ruined it for me. So how does Gearbox make this right? How does Gearbox salvage Battleborn and bring it to more people and, just expand upon the experience? How does Gearbox make this right? Okay, now understand that what I'm about to lay out for you is just my own personal opinion on what, in my opinion, would make it right to me and a lot of people I feel like that I've talked to that own Battleborn, Season Pass, my brother, my friends, Cass and Trev, a lot of us. What would make it right to us? Well, for starters, you need to get people on these servers. I'm sorry, like, I can't stand not being able to run a 5-man mission if I don't have a pre-made group, man. That's ridiculous. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not a whole ton of people, but that's hard to get 5 people together, man, that own the game, that want to run the missions with you, because some people don't want to play the missions. They just want to play the PvP, which is totally fine with me because that's a blast too. But the point is you need to get people in these servers. I need to be able to run with more than one person, 1 or 2 people on these 5-man missions, because I don't feel like I'm even getting the full experience, because the mission nerfs according to how many people are in the mission. So, you see a lot less enemies. It's less intense. You see different enemies, like weaker enemies in the place of where normally there'd be stronger enemies. Alright? So I want to be able to play this game with people. I want people to want to play this game. It's a damn fun game. Alright? It's just like the most brilliant game that was just fucked into mediocrity by the system that's... I can't explain it. It's just like a shitty, derelict, old Pioneer building that's just crumbling to the ground, but inside there's like this amazing hot tub full of hookers for you to fucking enjoy. You see what I'm saying? That's what I feel about this. And it's like, whose idea was it to put that fucking, situation in the middle of the fucking woods? I'm thinking I'm gonna get ganked by the Blair Witch out here. I'm not expecting strippers in hot tubs. Alright? And so that's the point. By doing that, you've given it this unpleasant, you know what I mean? So so you've already done that. That's happened, all right? And that brings me to my next point. You need to make this accessible, easier to get a hold of things. You need to make a way for me to earn platinum. I don't care if it's a match win of the day and I get 10, and it costs 100 or something. You know what I mean? But I need to have a chance to get those in-game skins, alright? Now, if I'm a Season Pass owner, when you need to make this game more accessible, man. It's too goddamn grindy. It's to the point where it's like, straight up, give us your money. Or enjoy the next fucking 15 and a half hours without buying any loot boxes, without getting any, anything interesting. Just doing the same damn thing over and over again. Enjoy that. Right? No. Give us money. And then you don't have to do it. Then you just get it. And that's just, you need to rearrange the grind. You need to rearrange the reward system. You need to rearrange the loot drop. You need to rearrange the loot crate and loot box drop. Whatever you want to fucking call them in your stupid game. The miniature slot machines that give me gear sometimes. Those things. It needs to be free to play. And that's, a lot of people are going to be like, how can you say that? Isn't that going to piss you off? Yeah, it's going to make me a little mad. Right? But it needs to be free to play so that people can get in this game and actually play with people. Alright? It needs to be free to play. And the second it goes free to play, anyone with the Season Pass gets every skin, every emote, anything you were ever selling for platinum currency. Those guys get it. Anyone who bought the base version of the game immediately has all of the characters released, unlocked for them to play. And they also get one skin or one emote per character. I don't care what it is, but give them like something. It's just, that's how you make it right to the people who paid for your game. The fans that you suckered into funding your free-to-play game that you're going to make a lot of money on, Gearbox and 2K, you're going to make a lot of money on it when it goes free-to-play. Okay? Because it's a damn fun game and people will realize it when it's free. No one wants to pay the $60 because of the fucking shit house you presented this product in. And you know, that's about the only way I think that you would make it. That's your best course of action to do that. You give everyone who with the season pass 100% of everything in the game. Okay? You have everyone who bought just the $60 version, they get all the characters, and I don't even care if you give us skins. Because I don't own the season pass. But you know what? You better fucking give me those fucking characters. That you told me were going to be free content, but then I have to work for 15 and a half hours to get them. That's not free, Gearbox. That's not free, 2K. Okay? So those characters should be rewarded to me. I bought the fucking $60 game. You had these characters and this content finished. I'm pleased that you've given me access to the new story mission. I'm sure that was because no one was playing it. And they thought, well, let's just give it to the people who don't have the season pass. They're just constantly making dumb fucking moves over there with this game. And it's pissing me off. Because the developers over there who were the people who behind the gameplay, behind this amazing game, not the bullshit structure, but the hot tub full of hookers. Those people's, their brilliance and their design and their just, you know, incredibly well balanced and competitive game is dying in the water and no one will save it from drowning. Because everyone just wants it to hand over more money before it does anything. Make a fucking move. Please, for all of us, just make a move. Make it so that we can play with people. Make it so that we can fucking have some access to some of this shit that we just can't ever get. And some of this shit that it's gonna take us upwards of a fucking week to get. Alright, don't make this game feel so fucking inaccessible every time I get on it. That's the main problem here. Is I feel like this game fights me for me wanting to like it. The second I start it, I feel this game fighting with me to hate it. Because of all of these things that are in my face. That's it for me, everybody. I just wanted to do this video because I was looking forward to Battleborn a great deal. It was a huge disappointment to me. Huge disappointment to me. And that's mainly because I did have so much time playing this in the technical test and the beta, you know, and I still had fun playing it after release. I had a lot of good times with my friends Cass, Trev, my brother Chris, and Chubbs. Had a lot of good times playing this game. But at the same time, like I said, it always just felt like it was putting things that we were like out of our reach all the time. Every time I'd see like my credit reward at the end of a multiplayer match where I just straight shit on the enemy team and it was below 1,000 credits, I'm just like, why am I even wasting my time playing this? I don't get anything out of it. I never feel rewarded other than the satisfying gameplay that is quickly ruined the moment I can't get in a fucking group because there's no one playing. I can't get any loot or anything like that for my character. I see new characters that are kicking my ass that I can't play because it's going to take me 15 and a half hours to unlock them or give you $15. Cut it out. Cut it out, Gearbox. Just stop. Do the right thing. Salvage the game and you will make a ton of money. There's money to be made. You greedy, stupid idiots. Don't overplay your goddamn hand. Don't sneak in fucking microtransactions to $60 AAA prep fuck game. Be upfront, dude. Think how much money League of Legends makes a year. Think how much money Smite makes a year. All these Neverwinter, fucking free to play games with half the fucking artwork and just mastercrafted game that you have that are making so much more than your game. There's a reason. Anyway, guys, that's it for me, Jaxxsin. I'm out of here. I love you. Hope you enjoyed listening to this. Thanks for staying to the end. It was a long one. Till next time, keep kicking ass, keep being safe, stay awesome, stay sexy, stay fuck kick ass, and remember, fucking greed will ruin everything.